What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? This is I, James, ReadOptionAgency.com and Urban-Picker.com. 23 years selling full-time on eBay. It's just doing some late night, just knocking out these little bit of orders right quick. And thought I would share a little tip, if you will. A tip that I noticed. So, going to Canada. So one thing I've noticed, because this process I'm working right now, I've done it before, where my items will be in a temporary box before they get into a home spot. Why I do this is so it doesn't bottleneck me when listing. Say, I list 10, bring them down here, find a home, go back 10 more. What this allows me to do is just go ahead and get them listed, and they just go straight into a temp box. That temp box is on my SKU. So like the media right now, the temp boxes are J's, because there's no J boxes down here, no J drawers. So J1 through J14 right now are temporary media boxes. Then I also do the same with bigger items, and I use my GC numbers, my numbers and letters for glass cube. Then I know it's my office stuff, so it'll be up there. We got 2 of these sold today, 2 different ones. This one sold for $23, vintage South Park magnets. So I've done it before, so for the last couple of weeks I've started up that routine again. Like I said, so that it just doesn't bottleneck me. I don't have to think about it. They just go into these temp boxes and just sit there until I get to them. The whole plan is to bring them down once a week and maybe file them and do that. So that's the goal. But so I've noticed this before, and doing it again just kind of backs up the data. So you hear a lot of people say that, you can in and sell similar. You hear a lot of different things. Everybody's all over the place. But ending sell similar makes your listings new again. Some people will say, well, you got to change something in that listing. I'm not a believer in that because I've seen it. I've done them both, and always got the same results. So when you end a sell similar, you don't have to change anything. You're giving it activity, you're creating a new listing, etc. Well, the same thing works with giving your listings attention. If you give your listings attention, it somehow within the algorithm will bump it up in the ranks of eBay. We got the Scooby-Doo. Sold for $12. Going to Hawaii. So I put these items in the temp box, and the items in this example were sitting upstairs for about 2 weeks. Had a lot sell out of it at the beginning, and then trickle 1 or 2 here and there every couple days or whatever out of those temp boxes. So I bring them down yesterday, and when I bring them down to find a new home for them, I go in and edit my listings. I'll type, like if it's GC29 is my temp box, type in GC29, and then I will click edit and change the SKU to wherever it's going, its new location. In this case, it was tub 2.5. Well, since I did that yesterday and gave those listings attention, they're selling out. There are floods of sales coming out of that box again. So it just gave that even just something as simple as changing the SKU on these items generated enough activity for sales to ramp up again. Now you might just be saying, well, it's just a coincidence, et cetera, et cetera. But I wouldn't be talking about it if I felt it was just coincidence. It has to be something more, because it's not the first time I've noticed. It's not the first time that I made a note in my head that, keep an eye on this. It's happened over the years because, like I said, I used to do it before. When I used to use Seller Champ, I used temp boxes and then bring them down and shift them over to new homes and various other times. And every time I do it and give it some attention, things sell. And it also will happen too if I just happen to shift stuff for some reason, where if I just change the location. When I was doing something like with the DVDs to get them off of shelf or get them out of the drawers, I think it was, and putting them on shelves, I would change the SKU, and then boom, some of those would sell. So just giving it some kind of activity, just changing a SKU location appears to just give your listings new life. So if it's something as simple as changing SKU can do that, what else can do it? And that's why I think, people overthink that process too much. Like with the end and sell similar, oh, you got to change something, you got to lower the price, you got to change your title, etc. No, I am 99.9% positive when I say no, you do not have to do that. Just giving it some kind of attention will do that. Will it if you just hit edit on everything and then hit submit? Does that give it traction? Possibly. Instead of like end and sell similar. Other things I've noticed too when things I've done, it just popped in my head as I was talking. And now I lost it. There was other scenarios where I've changed the SKU location. Like when I was doing cross-listing to Poshmark at the very beginning, I would go in and add PM to my SKU listing so I knew where to go. That's when I was using List Perfectly, way back when. And then there was another one I had an idea in my head and I just totally lost it. But yeah, I've lost it. But anyway, just so you know that you just have to, if you give it some kind of activity, it seems like it refreshes it and creates a little oomph in that listing. We got, are you ready for a CD lot? Yeah. $5 a piece, buy two, get two. Got Barbra Streisand, Aretha, some South Pacific Islands, and classic Tennessee. Headed to Portland, Oregon. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, just because there's something to it. Just because of the results I've always gotten from it. So I thought I would share that little tidbit of info with you. I was listing cassettes today, and it took me a while to get into it. The Scooby-Doo is one of them that was in that box that I was talking about, and I got another item here that was also, and that's the one actually, it's going to Canada, so I'll do that one last. But it took me a while to get into the groove of listing because I spent over a week just taking pictures. Mock Turtles CD sold for $6.50. Headed to Massachusetts. So this is the first view of the shipping area. Got my hat boxes, got my 12 by 6 by 6 boxes. poly bags, my flats, and my bubble mailers, and my 45 RPM boxes with a trash can right here. So for Adrian's, the way he does his labels. So the secret I'm hanging on to, my first showing of it, if you will, has been pushed back to the weekend. So hopefully this weekend I will get to at least see the secret that Josh and Iyeth are keeping right now, even though he's saying a little bit more than I am. So if you're trying to play the guessing game, make sure you're watching Josh's lives or going back and watching them. You can check the one for today. He talks about it a little bit more than I feel comfortable talking about. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. So some of the problems I've been having with eBay for the past couple of days, on the old store, I can't do a scan farm printout. The layout won't properly show. It had to happened about a week ago on the live, and then I think it flipped and started working right, maybe even while the camera was still recording. But it's been 2 days now, and the old account I haven't been able to do a scan form. This is the other item. It's a charger for battery charger for power tool. But what else? There are more issues. I kind of just freaking don't even think about them anymore. I just kind of trying to blow them off, and I'm tired of it all, right? So 8, 5, 6, 5, 4, 1, 6. Use charger. Put use battery charger. They might think there's a battery in there and freak out or something. Boom, boom, boom. So we're going on 9 p.m. and I'm caught up right now, so I may not have a shipping video in the morning, but I'll at least do a throwback and see what the week looks like, numbers wise and what have you. Take a look at that. So I will carry this stuff upstairs. Jan's watching the NBA playoffs. At the very beginning of the season, Alex, like I talked about the boys, how they're kind of just spot on with stats and stuff with sports. They can tell you like a person's college numbers along with their professional numbers, and they're just crazy number heads, right? Like they could learn to count cards and stuff real easily. So they're always doing little bets, sporting bets, and they're always winning big money or decent money. But at the beginning of the year, just to show you how thorough they are, they put money on the Pacers at the beginning of the basketball season. Now, Alex thinks they're going to have a real hard time getting past the Thunder and their defense. I'm not big on basketball, but if they win and he gets like a huge payout compared to what he bet, I think it was 700. I don't remember what it was. It was a big number. What did he bet? I think he said he only bet $15. They always play with smaller money on bigger odds type of thing. So he bet $15, and I think his payout's going to be like $750 if they pull it off. But he's done it before. He's had a year where he's picked every winner in every sport on that year. So they're real number heads and sport fanatics. Combining those together, they're crazy, wicked smart when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah, so they've been what did he bet I don't remember the last bet. His payout was like $850. What was it? I think it might have been a golf bet. I don't even remember. But they're like, I would worry about if they were like addicted to gambling, but they're so far on the up that I don't even worry about it anymore. At first I was kind of concerned, right? I don't even worry about it anymore because they're just always pulling out big numbers. So, but yeah, so that'd be interesting to see if the Pacers pull it off. But I didn't ask him who he bet on with the hockey. I forgot to ask him. Well, that's it for me. I'm going to, I guess, start winding down for the night. And hopefully get to check out The Secret this weekend. That's why no, I'm shutting up. Shut up, James. That's why I always got to check myself. And I hate doing that. I hate checking myself when I want to talk about or say something. So I've got to process things before I say them now. But that's all right. All right, that's it for me. All right, thanks everybody. I'm gonna take these kids out front, and then I guess I'm gonna maybe just lay in bed. All right, thanks everybody. I will see you all in the next video. Later.